Hey everyone, welcome to another video. This video is going to be my new makeup ranking. I'm going to be ranking all the new makeup I purchased recently. I usually always do a haul at the end of the month, and then a month later, after I've had a little bit more time to try things out, I rank them. I'm a little bit later this month because I've been busy and because some of these things I wanted to try out a little bit more than I usually do to really make up my mind. So yeah, I'm here, I'm finally here, I'm back to tell you what it's all about. Let's get right into it. So this month I actually tried a lot of Catrice and Essence and also Kiko, so that's what you're gonna see a lot in this ranking. Let's start with the first thing that I'm not entirely sure if I already hauled. I should check that, but I'm not entirely sure. But I am so sure that I don't like this, that it's already in my ranking, and I already put it in my worst makeup of 2021. That video is already up. In the last place for this ranking is this lip gloss. This is the Catrice Beauty Advent Beauty Gift Shop Mini Voluminizing Lip Booster in the shade Delicate Nude Lips. This is absolutely unusable. Well, I guess you can kind of make this work in a way, but definitely not in the way you would expect it. This is a very small lip gloss, and then the applicator of this is also very small. And in this gloss is, I think, a very small narrow stopper as well, and then when you take it out there's only a tiny little bit of product on the tip, just on the very tip of this. So when you try to apply this to your lips, there's basically nothing getting on your lips. And even when you reapply this, when you try to apply this like 5, 6, 7, 8 times, you don't get a layer of a lip gloss on your lips. There's no color there. There's maybe the slightest amount of shine that kind of looks like you applied a lip balm. It's kind of like applying a lip balm, and then it's also very sticky. It's not comfortable. It doesn't look very good. It's such a hassle to apply. This is just something that doesn't work as a mini. Maybe if it wasn't a mini, if it had a different stopper, if it had a different applicator, that would be a little bit better, but I still wouldn't love it because it's just a little bit sticky. It has a very minty sensation on the lips. It feels kind of tingly minty at the start, but that wears off very fast. But there's not a lot of product on this on your lips to really see a voluminizing effect. It's just, it doesn't really do anything. It's only like a few euros, but I still wouldn't spend that on this one. Then another product that I was pretty disappointed by, but I don't feel like it's completely unusable, is the Essence Rapunzel palette. So Essence and Catrice came out with their Sister Love, a Disney Princess collection. I tried a few things in a video. I tried some things by Essence, some things by Catrice, and this is the Essence eyeshadow palette that I tried. When I used this in the video, I really hated it. I thought it was so powdery, unusable. It looked so bad. I really didn't like it. I was kind of expecting to put this at the bottom. Then I used it a little bit more and really tried it out. And if you use different shades as the first shade you put down, then you can kind of make it work. It's still pretty powdery, it's still really lackluster. All the shades blend into each other. There's just not really a range here. You don't really see the difference of these shades on your eyes. I actually did 2 different looks on both my eyes to see if I could spot the difference. And I used different shades for each eye, and then when I was done, I was like, if I would go out like this right now, if I would ask someone right now, is there something funny about my look, they would be like, no, it looks good. Because it just looked exactly the same on both my eyes, even after trying very hard to kind of make them look different, to use different shades. This is just a very one-noted palette with a quality to it that doesn't help with that. It doesn't have interesting shades, it doesn't have a very good range of shades, and then the shades that you have are so powdery that they just blend into each other. The shimmers of this are kind of satiny. I guess if you just want a very simple look, a very toned down look, you don't really want variation, you just want a kind of nude grayish purple look, you can go for this, but I wouldn't really recommend it. It's just very uninteresting, unimpressive. I didn't love this. Even after discovering that it isn't as bad if you don't put those lightest shades first, like the lightest mattes, it's still not very good. It is just okay. I think this could have been a quad and you would have gotten the same looks, the exact same looks as what you can get with a 16 pan eyeshadow palette. It's just that all the shimmers in this look so similar, and then you only have like a few matte options, and it's just not enough. I need more mattes, I need more different shades, and I need them to look different on the eyes. Next up, we have the Kiko Milano A Holiday Fable Eternal Matte Lip Mousse. This is the lowest ranking thing from the A Holiday Fable collection that I tried out. Also did a video on this. I basically did videos on all of this, so I will link that down below. I will try to link it up in the eye. Check those videos out if you want more information, if you want swatches, things like that. But this is a very pretty liquid lipstick. It's a beautiful shade. It's kind of like a rosy dark nude. I really loved how this looked, but it's just a little bit too sticky, which makes it a bit uncomfortable. It's not like unwearable. I would still wear it, but when you rub your lips together, you can feel them sticking to each other, and it's just not my favorite. I have liquid lipsticks that don't do that. I have enough of them. I know it's possible, so I don't really get why this is so sticky. That's really my gripe with it, because it is pretty long wearing. It's a beautiful shade. I quite like it. It's not too expensive, but this formula just isn't as good as other liquid lipsticks that I've tried. Next up, I put the lip balms from the Disney collection. These are from Catrice. I got the one in Belle. This is kind of like a pinky nude. It looks like that. And then I also got the one for Pocahontas. This is kind of like a warm nude. These are pretty. These are nice. These are fine. They are just very sheer and shiny. They look more interesting than they actually are because they have that shimmery outside, but then when you apply to your lips, it's just a tinted lip balm. It's definitely not bad. They're pretty good. I like them. I would use them. If you use a lip liner, you can kind of make them look more impactful, but it's nothing very interesting, nothing that blew me away, nothing that surprised me. It's just an extra thing to buy if you want to buy one of the eyeshadow palettes. It's just nice. And when I rank these things, I also kind of look at what surprised me, what blew me away, what was very interesting that month, and these were just nice. Then I put the Nabla 2 Reasons. So I recently reviewed the 2 Reasons cream products by Nabla. They came out with these duos. They have a very cool packaging. It does feel pretty plasticky. It's not very luxurious, but it looks cool. And then inside you have a balm and then a cream product that has more of a pigment to it. You can use it on your cheeks, on your lips. You can use it both ways. That's also why it's called 2 Reasons. I also got the other shade that has more of a warm toned red look to it. This one. I don't mind these, but I also don't love them. These are a very specific, interesting formula that I think that some people will quite like, but it isn't exactly what I look for in a cream product. This cream is very thin. It isn't thick at all. It is lightly pigmented. You can build it up, but it does let all your imperfections shine through. And I don't really wear foundation. I just wear a little bit of concealer if I feel like I need it. And then I kind of lean on my cheek products to perfect my skin. And this doesn't do that at all. If you like a little bit more of a editorial look, if you want your imperfections to shine through, or you already make your skin look perfect with foundation, then maybe you will like this more than I do. I just feel like there are better cream products out there for me. I just want them to be a little bit thicker. The colored side is pretty easy to blend out. It is pretty easy to build up. It is definitely not a bad product. It is also not like it doesn't show up at all. And you can kind of mix it in with other things as well. The balm, I don't really love balmy products like that on my skin. It isn't extremely sticky, but it also doesn't really dry down. The cream, the colored cream does dry down, but the balm, it remains a little bit balmy feeling on the skin, a little bit sticky. It's not like your hair is gonna get stuck in it, but it just isn't my favorite. It's not something that I felt like I was missing in my life, and the balms in these products are all pretty much the same. If you look at it like this, you're like, there's some color to it, but when you swatch it, when you apply it, it's basically nothing. There's basically nothing there, and because of that I wouldn't really recommend buying all of these or buying a lot of these, because half of the product is something you already have in the other duos. I feel I would have preferred if they would have just made the balm a separate product, because not everybody loves a balm, and then you could decide if you want the balm and just pick one product, one cream cheek that you really love. That's just how I feel about it. This isn't completely perfect for me, not completely my thing. On the lips, the cream color side is a little bit too drying for me. When you apply the balm on top, it's better, but I don't really love putting my fingers in and applying my lip products with my fingers. I don't feel like that really works, and I don't want to go through the hassle of applying something with a lip brush. That's just not something I do. I have to be realistic. Even if I think, okay, I'm gonna do that, I'm probably not gonna do it. I will reach for other lip products over this. It's okay if you put it on the lips. It looks okay. It's just a bit subtle. It's nice if you want a more monochromatic look, if you want to match your lips to your cheeks. All in all, this is just an okay product to me. I didn't love these. They aren't my new favorites. I don't feel like they really add something to my collection that I wanted in my collection, that I was missing. I just like it when cream products are a little bit more pigmented and have something special to the formula. These just have just a little bit of a natural sheen, but I would like to see something a little bit more, a little bit better. But I can definitely imagine people really loving this. Just ask yourself, do I want this kind of watercolor see-through kind of cheek product? Do I love cheek balms? Then maybe this is for you. Next up, I put this Catrice Disney Princess highlighter palette. This one is what I'm wearing today. I don't know if you can kind of see it. I kept it a little bit subtle today. So this is a very interesting highlighter formula, because there's something kind of thick and metallic and blinding about it, but you can kind of apply it more subtly. And the shimmer in this is not chunky. It's not like you can count the shimmers on your cheek. It kind of all meshes together and makes your cheek look glowy. It is a very interesting. I have had to use this quite a lot of time to really make up my mind, because the first time that I used this, it looked so blinding and kind of thick on my cheeks. And then the times I used it after that, I was like, that's pretty subtle. You can apply this a little bit more subtle. But in the end, I think I quite like it, because you can blend it into the skin. You can make it look a little bit more natural, or you can make it look a bit more metallic. It's just that this has this kind of creamy, shimmery formula to it, and the shades in this, they are a little bit icy. They are quite on the icy side. Even these two, they might look a little bit deep, but they are light enough for my skin right now. I'm not that tan right now. It's winter. I haven't seen the sun. Well, today it's sunny, but I haven't seen the sun, I feel like, in forever. I would recommend this palette. I would recommend it if you like a shimmery highlight, but you don't want your highlight to be chunky, and you like it to be a little bit creamy and buildable. You have some control over it. If you want something really natural, maybe don't go for this. If you're really into blinding metallic highlights, then I would say check this one out, because you can build this up to look quite metallic. Next up, we have a product that I've been going back and forth on. I've done so many looks with this, and I was hoping to completely fall in love with this brand, to completely fall in love with these eyeshadows, but it hasn't completely happened the way I imagined this. This is very hyped, and I've heard so many people say that I had to try it, that is so amazing. But there's just a part of this that didn't live up to my expectations. And I'm talking about the Makeup Geek single eyeshadows that I bought. I actually bought these mainly on a recommendation of one of my subscribers, but I've also heard other YouTubers rave about these. I have two palettes. I'm wearing the mattes today, and I really like the mattes. They are blendable, they are buildable, they are nice colors. I think they are very easy to work with. They are great, they are nice, but these shimmers, I just can't really get on board with. They are just not that interesting in my opinion, and I was expecting them to be a little bit more creamy and foiled and a bit easier to apply, because when I apply these shimmers to my lid with my finger, as I usually do, I just feel like they kind of drag. I just feel like I have to put in a lot of work to really apply it all over my eyelid because they aren't creamy and pigmented enough. I don't know, there's just something about this when I apply these, I'm like, that could have been easier, and that is easier with other shimmers that I have. And then once they are on, I just don't feel like they look that shiny or creamy or pigmented. Some of these I like more than others. This more cool tone purple I liked more than this more reddish shade. I quite like these two lighter metallic shades. This one is Whimsical, and I believe that one is, let me check, In the Spotlight. I think those are quite nice and shiny for the inner corner. They are quite icy though, more icy than I expected. But these shimmers don't live up to the hype for me. I don't think I would really reach for those over other shimmers that I have. I already had a bit of a feeling that they weren't gonna be 100% my taste, because sometimes I can be pretty picky with my shimmers. I was just expecting a little bit more from them, but they're also kind of like an older formula, and since then, since these were released, we have seen so many interesting shimmer formulas in the makeup community, in the makeup industry. I feel a bit bad for this review. I feel a bit bad that I put this kind of like in the middle, but I am reviewing this as a whole. I do see myself building palettes with the mattes, but I don't know if I will reach for those shimmers a lot, but it's just the way I am. I just want shimmers to be very shiny and special and interesting and really add something to my collection, and I just didn't really feel like that with these. I really did so many looks with this, and this is one of the reasons that I'm a little bit later with this ranking. I actually did so many looks with this and really tried it out, really wanted to see what I actually thought about this. I tried these shimmers different ways as well. I tried them with a glitter glue, but I actually don't want to feel like I have to use a glitter glue to get the result that I want. I want my shimmers to work just like that, because there are so many shimmers that work for me just like that, applied with a finger. So that's how I came to this conclusion. Next up, I put the Catrice Disney Princess Pocahontas palette. I actually really enjoy it. I think it's really pretty. I like this a lot more than the Essence one. We have quite a range of shades here. You can go more warm, more brown, or more mauvey purple. This Strength shade is very nice. It is a bit powdery, but it is so pigmented that this takes a palette to a whole other level. We also have some different shimmer textures in here that I quite like. I quite enjoyed the shimmers in here. This Nature shade is kind of like a pinky, like nudie pink to a soft lilac topper shade that has some shimmer to it, which is really nice. This is not a perfect formula because it is quite crumbly, it is quite powdery, but I did do some very pretty looks with it. Love the tones in here. I think the layout of this, the way this palette looks, is also better than the Essence one. I mean, the little stars in the Essence palette, you can hardly get your finger in there, but here we just have those diamond shapes that don't really make it difficult to use the palette. I think it's strange to make the pen shape in such a way that you can't really use it. You know, I've actually really enjoyed this palette. I've really enjoyed using it. I think it's a cute color story. It has inspired me. It's not like the most revolutionary color story ever. It's not the most revolutionary formula ever, but I've had fun with this palette, and I just really liked all the looks that I did with this. Really enjoyed it. I can see myself reaching for this one more often. It's just very nice. It's not my new favorite, but it's a very nice palette. Then we have this Essence Hydrating Nude lipstick. This is a shiny, sheer shiny lipstick in kind of like a cool tone nude shade. It's very nice. I really like it. It's hydrating. It feels plushy and soft on the lips. It has a nice formula. It doesn't wear off right away. It isn't smeary. It's just a very nice sheer shiny lipstick. I really like this. I would recommend it. It's a good lip formula at the drugstore. They have other nude shades as well. I enjoyed this one. Next up, I put the Kiko Holiday Fable Enchanting lipstick. This is in 02. This is a shiny lipstick, kind of a metallic lipstick. This is what I'm wearing on my lips today. It's very hydrating. It's not as shimmery as it looks in the tube. When you look at it like this, it's very, very shimmery. That shimmer you don't really see on the lips. It's just very shiny and metallic, but not in a way that looks very dated and that looks too icy. It's just a nice shine. It's just a nice glow. I like the color. It's a nice rosy shade. It feels very comfortable. It smells very florally. Kiko does like to put some perfume in their products, but I don't really mind that unless I really don't like the scent. But this is kind of fine. It's like a floral soap, almost like a rosy soap. You have to like it. I don't hate it. It's not something that you smell when you're wearing it. It's just a nice lipstick. It's comfortable, it's it feels hydrating, and it looks very cool in the tube. It has this magnetic closure, which is quite nice. I enjoy this. Next up is one of the surprises of this month, of this ranking, and that is the Essence by Merve eyeshadow palette. This one I actually tried before I tried the Disney Princesses collection. I saw that this was being released and I was very curious because I had never tried an Essence collab, and I wanted to see what the formula was like, because Essence doesn't always have the best eyeshadow formula. So I was like, if they collab with someone, is it gonna be good? And it was good. So let me see how I can show you this. This is a very nice color story because it is a neutral palette with a blue-green row. We don't just have a pop, we have the option to make a full blue-green eye look, because we have a deepening shade, we have some shades that you can use in the crease, we have a lighter shade here as well that you can use in the inner corner. I did a green-blue look with this and I was really blown away. It's so pretty. I really loved how these mattes blended. They worked so easily. I mean, I was impressed. And then the shimmers are also very nice. Some of them are a little bit more textured, some of them are a little bit more smooth. I also really like the neutrals that we have here. When I did my first impression, I also used a bunch of the neutrals. It's a cute palette. The only thing is that I find that the neutral shades are a little bit on the uninteresting side. I think the undertones could have been a little bit more special, a little bit more different. I mean, we have this, and this shade that just look very basic to me. I think if one of them would have been a little bit more interesting in undertone or a little bit deeper, I would have liked this more. Now when I look at it, I'm like, it's a little bit boring on this side, but the quality of this really is so good. I love the mattes in here. The shimmers are very nice. This isn't as powdery as the Pocahontas palette. This is great. I would highly recommend it. Watch my video where you can see how I use this. I was so impressed. So this is quite high up in the ranking because I was very surprised at how good this is, but the whole vibe and the color story doesn't inspire me as much as some other things. Then I put this Kiko Milano, a Holiday Fable Metal Fantasy eyeshadow in Blazing Bronze. This is what I'm wearing on my lids today. This is so pretty. It is so shiny, so creamy. It has some texture to it as well. There's some shimmer in here. It's a beautiful shade, almost duochrome. That's how shiny it is. And it's like a bronze. It has a little bit of a greeny undertone, which makes it a little bit more interesting. It's just that this one is a little bit expensive. This is 13 euros for one eyeshadow. I don't know if I feel like that's completely worth it, but now that I have it, I use it a lot. I think it's very pretty and I just love the way it looks. So it's kind of up to you if you think that this is worth it, because this formula is quite similar to some other formulas that I've tried by indie brands that they put in palettes that are like 3 times this price. So maybe then it's not worth it to buy a single like this. But not looking at the price, just looking at the quality and the color, I think this is amazing. This is very good. It is such a pretty shade. And I'm pretty sure this is gonna be on sale soon, because Kiko always puts their limited editions on sale after a while. So if you are eyeing this, I would say if you can get this like 30-50% off, it's definitely worth it. Next up, I put the Glamlite Dirty Martini palette. I really love this color story. It is so pretty. It's like the perfect green palette because we have some more olive muted greens, we have some bluish greens, some teals here as well. We have so many different shades. You can go a little bit more neutral, you can go more bright, you can go more deep and sultry. Really love the looks that they did with this. The shimmers in here are amazing. The only thing that I didn't love was that this shade does stain. My brushes were stained and it's just a bit of a finicky shade. Because of that, I don't love it. I think that is definitely a bummer when it comes to this palette, because I do really love the look of this shade and the undertone. It's such a cool tone of green blue. So this palette isn't perfect, but I do really love it. I do think it's amazing. I would highly recommend it if you love greens, you want to add some greens to your collection and you want a few different tones. It is very nice. It is a very nice palette. One more thing that I wish was in here would be like a lighter shade, an inner corner highlight, something like that, or a lighter matte. That would really make this even more versatile, because that was something that I kind of missed when I was doing looks with this one. On spot number 4, I put this stick duo, the Kiko Milano A Holiday Fable Radiant Duo Blush and Highlighter Stick in the shade 02. This one has like a bronzy pink glowy blush on one side, and then we have a kind of cool toned pinky, also with a little bit of a bronzy mauve undertone highlighter on one side. This is a beautiful cream stick blush and highlighter duo. It is a very specific look though. You do get that kind of sweaty, shiny look, like you've been out and about, walking around. You are flushed a little bit because you are so hot, because you've been in the sun. It is a very pretty product. It is a little bit thin though. It isn't super pigmented, so if you really want a very blushy look, you kind of have to build it up or put something underneath. But I do really love the glow and the finish that this gives. I think it is very pretty, and in a recent video I even compared this to the Charlotte Tilbury Beauty Light Wand in Pinkgasm. I think this shade is very similar to that, and the effect is also very similar, because this is glowy without it being very like stark and metallic. I really like this. I think it's good. I think it's pretty, but it's just a little bit less pigmented than some other cream cheeks that I really love. But if you keep that in mind and really build it up, don't be scared to go in, and then it's very pretty. I really love it. I really love the combination of these two shades as well. I always end up using the two together. Then in the third place, we have the Kiko Milano Lost in Amalfi Bronzer and Highlighter Duo. This I bought because of Angelica Nyqvist. She put this in her top 3 in every category, in the bronzer category of course. I'm wearing this side today. I think it's very pretty. This side is just a satin bronzer, very natural. If you mix this one in, you get a very shiny bronzer, which is something that I really love. But today I was just like, you know what, just do the one side. But you can kind of like pick and choose. If you take more of this and then a dab of this, then it's a little bit less shiny. But if you mix these evenly, then you get a very shiny bronzer. I think it's such a pretty color. It's so easy to use, so easy to blend, and it's just very nice to have this shiny option that is pigmented in a way that makes it easy to make an impact, to really kind of sculpt and bronze your face without it looking crazy right away. It's very easy to use. I also don't think this is a color that is too dark for me. I was kind of scared that maybe it would be a little bit too dark because this is a darker shade, but I think it's fine and I really like it. It's good. I think I could even get into this more in the summer, because in the summer is when I really love glowy bronzy cheeks. But right now I can already tell you that this is a very good product and I would highly recommend this one, especially if you love a glowy bronzy cheek. Then in second place I put the Chocolate Martini palette by Glamlite. This is such a good neutral palette, and the reason that it actually came out so high is that it is a very interesting color story. We have some very interesting undertones in here, which makes it far from a boring neutral palette. You can go more purpley, you can go more rosy, you even have an orange shimmer here, you have yellows, we have this kind of purpley blue duochrome. It is so pretty, you have so many options. This looks like an inner corner highlight, but it isn't. It is an iridescent shade that shifts a very dark gold, so it's more like a lit shade. It's not really an inner corner shade, but all in all I really enjoyed this palette. I reached for these mattes a lot. Even if I used a different shimmer, I would go into these mattes because you have cool tones, you have purples, you have rosy tones. I have all the neutral mattes that I need in this palette. It's such a good companion palette for that, and I am just someone that loves neutrals, but I want them to be a little bit special, a little bit interesting, and this gives me everything that I want, everything that I need. This is such an interesting neutral palette. I'm really into it. I love the quality of this. The mattes blended very well. You might know that I really love the shimmer formula by Glamlite. These shimmers are so creamy. They have a lot of texture, but they are not like that sheer, shiny, very see-through textured shade, topper shade that you see a lot. I'm not always into that. I'm not always looking for that in my looks. So this is like one of my new favorite neutral palettes. Really, really love it. So if you have seen my Kiko A Holiday Fable video, then you might already know how impressed I was with one of the products. And I was so impressed with it that I put it on the #1 spot. So this is the Kiko Milano A Holiday Fable Ethereal Eyeshadow Palette in Surreal Destination. This has 5 beautiful, shimmery, shiny, textured, creamy shimmers. It is amazing. These metallics are the best metallics Kiko Milano has done. They are different than the mini. This one is a little bit more creamy and thick and pigmented and a little bit less textured. But if you go for something from the Holiday Fable collection, I would go for this one. If you have to choose between the two, I would go for this one because you get 5 amazing shimmers in this. You have to go and check out my video on this because I do swatches in low light, and then you can really see how dimensional these shades are. These shimmers are very, very soft, so be a bit careful, but they are so shiny. I just barely touched it, and this is how shiny it already looks on my finger. This has such a dimension to it. It kind of looks duochrome. It kind of looks like purple to gold, and there's just so much shimmer in this. This is a beautiful companion palette, and I'm just really impressed that Kiko did something like this. This is like indie quality. This looks like indie shimmers. So shiny. This is so shiny. I was so blown away when I first tried it, and I'm still blown away. I just think this is amazing, and I just hope that Kiko will keep up this quality because this is so worth it. The packaging of this is not my absolute favorite, but it's compact enough and it's cute enough. The inside is what counts here. The inside is what matters. This is amazing. This is absolutely great quality. I would highly recommend it. I would say check it out in store if you can. Swatch it and be amazed. It is so creamy. And Kiko definitely doesn't always do this type of quality. So if they do, I'm like very happy. So this is gonna be everything for my new makeup ranking. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like the video if you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe, and let me know in the comments if you have tried any of this makeup. Do you agree with me or maybe not? And then I will see you in my next one. Bye bye.